You have a very dishonest system over here. If I ran with an honest vote counter in California, I would win California. But the votes are not counted honestly. It's a very dishonest system that you have.
Well, folks, today in every MAGA accusation is in fact a confession news. One of Donald Trump's very own contentious cabinet picks was accused of performing the proclaimed cardinal sin of the MAGA cult. The very worst thing anyone can possibly do in the MAGA code of moral values.
It's not a thing.
Not a thing.
Because with less than 2 weeks before Donald Trump is sworn in as president, his pick to lead Health and Human Services is facing a new legal challenge over alleged voter fraud. That's right, a complaint filed by the left-leaning watchdog group Accountable.us on Wednesday morning and shared exclusively with Politico alleged that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. committed felony election fraud when he voted in the 2024 election. Now, please, folks, before we get into the dirty details of this breaking story, I have to warn you not to hit that like and subscribe button, because if this video gets seen by too many people, we run the risk of making a maggot's brain explode as they try to grapple with the comprehension of irony. And as if to add insult to said irony, Trump's allies have quickly leapt to RFK Jr.'s defense in this matter, but as we'll see in a moment, there was a suspicious lack of defense for RFK from a rather crucial source, namely his lawyers.
Allies of President-elect Donald Trump condemned a left-wing watchdog group after it accused one of his top cabinet nominees, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., of committing voter fraud. The group Accountable.us filed a complaint with the New York State Board of Elections, accusing Kennedy of voting, quote, from a New York residence at which he does not legally reside during the 2024 election. Trump's communications director shot back at the allegations, calling the complaint, quote, completely partisan and politically motivated. Caroline Ciccone, president of Accountable.us, wrote in the complaint, quote, by knowingly voting from a residence that several New York courts had already determined was not his legal residence, Mr. Kennedy blatantly violated New York laws. During his bid for the presidency, Kennedy faced multiple legal skirmishes from left-wing groups challenging the validity of a New York address he submitted to election authorities. Kennedy's New York home in Katona is the same one that Accountable.us accused Kennedy of using to allegedly illegally vote in the Empire State. Kennedy's affiliates have painted the address battle as efforts by the Democratic Party to destroy opposition. The PAC, American Values, came to Kennedy's defense on X.
Right, and setting aside the irony of this group being called American Values and coming to Kennedy's defense for accusations of voter fraud, this is a big deal because Kennedy is about to undergo high-profile hearings and may be asked about the allegations under oath in his confirmation hearings. As the executive director of Accountable.us was quick to point out, saying not actually living in New York in the eyes of the law allegedly did not stop RFK Jr. from casting his election ballot there illegally. Adding senators should press Kennedy on whether he intends to play by his own rules and thumb his nose at the law as HHS secretary like President-elect Trump is wont to do. And interestingly and rather suspiciously, lawyers for Kennedy did not respond to multiple requests for comment. And I don't know about you, but not defending your client or responding to requests for comment about alleged federal crimes seems a little like pleading the fifth, which we all know is a hallmark of innocence.
The mob takes the fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?
Fast-moving developments in the House probe into January 6th. Alex Jones told his podcast audience he pleaded the fifth almost 100 times.
Have you seen what's going on in front of Congress? Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Fifth Amendment.
Mr. Clark intends to invoke the Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination.
Another lawyer involved in this scheme to flip the election results, lawyer John Eastman, he too is going to take the fifth.
Taking the fifth. I think it's disgraceful.
President Trump and two of his children must answer questions under oath. That from a judge in New York today.
It's possible he will take the fifth, take the fifth, take the fifth. He won't say anything.
This is like Watergate, only it's worse.
The mob takes the fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?
And look, this is big because, as you heard, a New York judge ruled in August in favor of a legal challenge launched by another left-leaning super PAC Clear Choice Action that claimed Kennedy presented a false New York residence, the same one he allegedly used to vote, and on the petition he submitted to state election authorities to gain ballot access. Kennedy had argued he'd been renting a room from a childhood friend in Katona, but that friend's spouse testified that Kennedy had only spent one night at the residence. And once the New York courts ordered Kennedy removed from the state ballot, it touched off a series of challenges by Kennedy's camp, even after he suspended his presidential campaign in August 2024 and endorsed Trump. And that legal battle went all the way to the Supreme Court, which released a one-line order in late September denying his appeal to regain access to the ballot. So if the Supreme Court already ruled against him on this matter for getting onto the ballot, I'll pass the question off to you. Wouldn't that mean that there's already a legal basis for proving that this is indeed voter fraud on RFK Jr.'s part? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I know that this will likely have near zero consequences for his confirmation, but as disheartening as that is, if you appreciate MAGA hypocrisy being called out and you enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like and subscribing to the Really American channel, where we will continue to call out and keep track of conservative criminal behavior. Thank you for watching. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse, and I'll see you guys in the next one.